talk about my mistakes that I made on a plant-based diet. Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to PlantFit Meg. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I have lost 80 pounds on a plant-based diet. I make videos about healthy weight loss, simple plant-based recipes, and living a healthy lifestyle. In my previous video, I discussed how I lost 70 pounds in 6 months, and I don't think I made it clear enough in that video, but I do want to mention here that it really doesn't matter how quickly you lose the weight. You want to lose weight in a healthy, sustainable, manageable way so that you don't regain weight back. And I did lose quite a bit of weight quite quickly, so I just wanted to throw it out there as a little disclaimer. The most important thing is losing weight in a healthful way, and for me it was definitely focusing on my health as the primary focus rather than the weight loss. My plan for my next video was to do a how I lost the last 10 pounds because I did make sort of tweaks and shifts and changes from what I discussed in that video to how I lost sort of the last 10 to 15 pounds. But then I realized, oh, there was quite a bit of time in between when I lost the bulk of my weight to when I lost the last 10 to 15 pounds, and a lot happened in the middle of all of that. I wanted to address mistakes that I made along the way, how I sort of went off track, regained some weight, my health suffered, and then in my next video, I will discuss how I lost the last 10 to 15 pounds. I have made a video about, in general, weight loss mistakes that I made, so I'll link to that video as well, but that was more generic. This video is going to be much more focused and honed in on mistakes I made during my plant-based journey after I lost the big bulk of weight, after I lost the 70 pounds, and then regained about 20 to 25 over a couple of years. So this is a video about what not to do, and I will give some information at the end about what I did to sort of turn these things around and get back on track and shift things back in the right direction. I also have a getting back on track video that you can check out and a how to be okay with failure video. So I will link those up here and in the description box below so you can check those out if you haven't seen them yet. With that, let's talk about my mistakes that I made on a plant-based diet. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I gradually reincorporated processed food into my diet. And this wasn't a conscious choice where I said, I'm going to gradually reincorporate processed food into my diet. It was more of a slow, gradual, like, I'm curious, I want to try a vegan burger because I've never tried one. So I tried one. And then gradually over time, it was, I want to try, vegan hot dogs, and I want to try vegan sweets and treats, and the occasional indulgence gradually over time morphed into the snowball effect of the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And before I knew it, my diet was much more processed than it had been previously. Without really realizing it, I had shifted my focus away from health and from health being my number one priority. And because of that, my health suffered and I did end up regaining some weight. And again, it wasn't something that I consciously I'm not going to focus on my health anymore. But it was just that I had lost a big bulk of weight. I was feeling pretty good. I was still on medication for some of my health issues. I've dealt with asthma, endometriosis, chronic pain, and fatigue. But I was feeling so much better than I had previously that I thought that this was the best that I could get, and this is where I would end up, and that was sort of the end of my health and weight loss journey. And I guess in some aspect I still had that sort of diet mentality where rather than it being an overhaul and a lifestyle change, I guess in the back of my mind, I still sort of had remnants of that diet mentality and diet culture where it's you go on a diet and then you come off a diet. And so I think I just sort of gradually reincorporated processed foods and shifted my focus sort of away from my health without even really being consciously aware of it. I wanted to show people that being vegan was fun and easy, and that anything that you could eat in an omnivorous way, you could eat in a vegan way, and you could go to the shop and grab a vegan burger. You could, grab a package of this, that, or the other, whatever was omnivorous that people were interested in. You could get a vegan version, and that was really exciting and really cool to check out. But at the same time, I overdid it and my health and weight suffered for it. I think I was also in denial at the time. I wasn't fully mindful and fully aware of what I was doing, but I thought that I was. So I had it in my head as my health started to decline, as my weight started to edge up a little bit. I was thinking, oh, but I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything I need to do. And I had people in my life saying, oh, a little bit of vegan processed food won't hurt you, won't kill you, won't harm you, it's fine. And so I sort of took that on board and thought, a little bit here and there is fine. And I think that's true. I do think that having the odd processed food is okay, and it's not going to completely destroy your progress or throw you off track. But for me to have that gradual reincorporation and have it become more of a standard and more of what I was eating week to week, or even sometimes day to day, that became a big problem and a big issue for me with my health and with my weight. I didn't fully realize how much processed food I was eating. I thought, oh, I'm just having it here and there, it's fine. And I just didn't have the full awareness or full realization of how often I was incorporating those foods into my diet. As my health declined and my weight sort of was starting to edge up, I was getting upset and frustrated, and I think the sadness and the frustration kind of built on one another, and I became more sedentary. I was having more health issues, and it was just kind of a vicious cycle of I was eating more processed foods without really cluing into it, and then I was sad because I wasn't feeling well and frustrated because I wasn't feeling well, and so I would eat more processed foods and not spend as much time in the kitchen, and it was just kind of this cycle that I went through for a while that I didn't even really realize that I was getting into. I was also put on prednisone for an extended period of time, so this is in no way to tell you not to take your medication. Don't do that. If you've been prescribed medication, take it. Follow the directives that you've been given by your doctor. But I just did want to throw it out there that I was on prednisone for about 5 or 6 months for my severe asthma, and prednisone is known to sort of affect weight and weight gain. So I think that did play a role as well in my weight gain. Again, if you're prescribed medication, take it. Do what you need to do. There's absolutely no shame or no harm in taking what you've been prescribed. If you need medication, you need it, you take it. At the same time, I always recommend touching base with a plant-based or lifestyle medicine doctor to discuss maybe other options or how you can incorporate lifestyle factors and dietary factors along with medication to improve your situation and make your way and come along. So a few ways that I remedied these issues are: I shifted back to focusing on my health as the #1 priority and making myself the priority. And I think that's hard for us to do sometimes. We're focused on other people and we're focused externally and focused on our families and other stuff going on. And at a certain point, you just have to be selfish and you just have to focus on yourself. I know that I needed to do that for myself, and I'll speak for myself in that I needed to focus on me and making myself as healthy and energetic and happy as possible. Being mindful and being aware are huge. So if you don't have that awareness of where you're going wrong, or you don't have that awareness of what you're actually putting into your body or how you're feeling day to day, there's a lot of chaos and confusion in that. And where I thought I was being mindful, I thought I was being aware, I wasn't really. And so keeping a food journal was very helpful. I also I kept a food journal, but I also tracked my energy level and I tracked my exercise and sort of how I was feeling. And I did that for a while just to get like a new baseline of what was I actually eating, where were things that I could tweak and change and adjust and sort of get back on track with a more whole food plant-based lifestyle. Another big thing was allowing myself to feel whatever I was feeling in the moment, but not dwelling in that feeling. So when I was sad, when I was frustrated, when I was having a hard time, I would do my best to allow myself to feel those feelings, let it happen, go through it, not try to suppress it and push it down and fill a void with food or anything like that, and try to not dwell in those negative emotions. And we all have them. Everyone gets sad and frustrated from time to time, but I really did my best to feel what I felt and then, okay, how can I turn this around? How can I improve my situation and make myself feel better? And this is a bit of a tricky one and a bit of a delicate, sensitive one, because if you're dealing with mental health issues, if you've been diagnosed with depression or anxiety, it is absolutely not as simple as just saying, well, I'm gonna feel what I feel and then bring myself out of it. That requires more assistance and more help in a lot of cases, and sometimes it requires medication or therapy or a combination of things. So I want to make it very clear that if you're dealing with any mental health issues, please seek help. And if you're just getting into like sadness and frustration and emotion, then that's a different story, and there are ways that you can kind of come out of that and refocus and reframe the problem and shift your perspective really to just look at things from a different angle, is how I switched things up and improved my situation. Related to that is gratitude. Gratitude is huge, and it helped me so much. And it might sound a little counterintuitive when I was going through health issues and going through weight regain and feeling, shame and guilt and sadness and frustration over all of those things. But coming back to being grateful for what I did have, what I could do, even if it was something as simple as getting out of the bed in the morning, or as simple as playing with my son for a few minutes, or going for a short walk if I could manage it. It was really challenging for me to go from being an active person, someone who I went plant-based, I was determined to regain my health, I took up running, I was feeling good, and then to sort of have my health devolve and my weight start to creep back up. And that was really, really difficult, and finding gratitude in that was extremely challenging. But once I was able to wrap my mind around it and be appreciative of what I did have and what I could do, that really did help me. And I had good days and bad days, some days were better than others where I could do more. And I also had to sort of gauge my energy level and gauge what I could do and try not to overdo it on a good day. But being grateful for the good days and just doing the best I could given the circumstances on bad days was really helpful in moving things along and gradually getting better over time. Another thing that really helped me was having a can-do attitude, and it might sound really cheesy, and it does sound cheesy and cliche, but to reframe my situation and say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with right now, this is my health issue, this is my weight issue, this is what's happening, and be aware and acknowledge my current situation, but also be able to say to myself, I can do this, I can turn this around, I can improve my situation. I might not be able to heal completely. I didn't know if I could heal completely or if I could lose the weight that I wanted to lose, but I said I can improve my situation, I can make positive change, I can work towards improving my life and doing what I want to do with my life and getting where I want to go. And I can make these tweaks and changes to do whatever I can in my power to improve my situation and to be healthy and lose the weight again and be back in a more healthy, happy, better state. So that's how I regained 25 pounds and then started to get into the process of regaining my health and starting to lose the weight again. I have a full video about how I regained my health, so I'll leave that linked here in case you haven't seen it yet and you're interested in checking it out. I hope you really enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be my how I lost the last 10 pounds, where I sort of tweak things again and lost a few more pounds. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video and got something out of it. These are things not to do when you're trying to lose weight and mistakes to try to avoid. So do the best you can, do what works for you. I hope you're having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!